What if the most terrifying truth, the one that keeps people awake at night, is that the real reason? They're still alone. Is the reflection staring back at them? We blame timing, fate, the dating pool, anything that keeps us from confronting the quiet possibility that we might be contributing to our own heartbreak. I sit with women who appear strong, online but collapse emotionally, behind closed doors, scrolling through silence as they wait for messages that never come. One of them, brilliant, powerful, admired, whispers to me that she hasn't felt human closeness in years, despite her feed bragging about living her best life. Her photos glow with filtered confidence, but her real nights end with tears soaking into an empty pillow. The distance between her public bravado and private ache grows so wide it starts to swallow her whole. And if that distance hurts this deeply, why do so many choose the illusion over the truth? Loneliness doesn't scream, it whispers, and those whispers hit hardest when no one else can hear them. It's not the absence of a partner that breaks people, but the haunting stillness of coming home to a space where no one asks how their day went. Culture dresses this emptiness in glitter, calling it empowerment, convincing women that craving connection makes them fragile. So they post upbeat captions while quietly drowning in nights where the silence feels heavier than their own heartbeat. The world cheers for the mask, while the woman behind it aches for someone, anyone, to see beyond the performance. But vulnerability has become a crime, and admitting the truth feels like betraying the persona society demands. But if loneliness is so painful, why are we told to pretend it's a badge of honor? The world teaches women to protect their feelings so fiercely that it accidentally robs them of the chance to grow. Many are raised to believe they're already perfect, so when love doesn't appear, the blame automatically gets pushed outward, never inward. This creates a soft, comfortable shield that feels empowering at first but slowly hardens into a prison that blocks real transformation. The simple question, why am I still single, becomes dangerous because answering honestly means facing habits and patterns they've avoided for years. It feels safer to point at men, at culture, at circumstances than to turn that gaze inward and confront painful truths. But every avoided truth becomes another chain linking them to the same outcomes, the same heartbreaks, the same silent nights. So what happens when the excuses run out and the mirror becomes impossible to ignore? There's a moment every woman faces where she realizes that the walls she built to protect her heart are the same walls keeping love out. These defenses start innocently, a little guardedness here, a little self-preservation there, until suddenly vulnerability feels like a threat instead of a bridge. So she keeps conversations shallow, expectations low, and emotions locked behind a carefully curated persona that no one is allowed to penetrate, and sense it not consciously, but instinctively, feeling the emotional distance even when her smile looks warm. And over time, this pattern becomes so normal that genuine intimacy feels foreign, almost dangerous, like stepping into a dark room without knowing what waits inside. Meanwhile, she wonders why connections fade, unaware that the armor she relies on is quietly suffocating every spark before it has a chance to grow. But what happens when even the strongest armor starts to feel like a cage she built herself? The hardest truth to face is that many women want love, but they fear being truly seen even more. They crave connection, yet the moment someone gets close enough to touch the real parts of them, the insecure parts, the imperfect parts, they retreat behind sarcasm, busyness, or emotional shutdown. Years of being judged, disappointed, or abandoned taught them that opening up is a risk with too high a cost. So instead of being authentic, they offer men a polished version of themselves, carefully filtered, strategically guarded, emotionally edited. But men don't fall in love with a persona. They fall for the woman hidden behind it, the one who rarely steps into the light anymore. And the more she hides, the more she convinces herself that no one would love the unpolished truth anyway, creating the very loneliness she fears. So the question becomes, how can love find her if she keeps hiding the parts of herself that need love most? Some women don't struggle with attracting men, they struggle with keeping them. And that truth cuts deeper than they ever admit out loud. The attention is there, the dates are there, the initial spark is there. But somewhere between the first conversation and the third week, things quietly fall apart. Not because she isn't beautiful or interesting, but because her emotional inconsistencies send mixed signals she doesn't even realize she's giving. One moment she craves closeness, and the next she pulls away. The second things get too real, too raw, too vulnerable. Men interpret this as disinterest or instability, never seeing the fear that drives her to self-sabotage before someone else gets the chance to hurt her first. And deep down, she knows she's repeating the same cycle, with different faces, different names, but the same ending every single time. So how long can she outrun her own patterns before they finally demand to be confronted? At some point, every woman realizes that the men she attracts aren't the problem, it's the energy she's broadcasting without even knowing it. People don't respond to what we say we want. They respond to the frequency we carry when no one is watching. And many women carry a quiet mix of fear, longing, resentment, and guardedness that pulls in the very dynamics they're desperate to escape. They attract emotionally unavailable men because deep down, they've become emotionally unavailable to themselves. They pull in inconsistent partners because their own inner world feels inconsistent, confident one day, insecure the next, hopeful in the morning, hopeless by night. And until this internal storm calms, every relationship will feel like matching chaos with chaos, leaving her wondering why she keeps repeating the same painful patterns. But if energy attracts equals, what happens when she finally learns to change the frequency she's been living on? Healing isn't poetic, it's brutal, because it forces a woman to confront the version of herself she's been avoiding for years. Growth doesn't come from vision boards or manifesting. It comes from sitting alone with the uncomfortable truths she spent her whole life outrunning. It means admitting the habits that sabotage her, the wounds she never treated, and the patterns she's normalized because they feel safer than changing. Healing requires cutting ties with the versions of herself that crave chaos, validation, or temporary comfort just to avoid feeling empty. And it demands taking responsibility, not blame, not shame, but responsibility for the choices that have shaped her, relationships, and her loneliness. This is the moment where excuses die, and the real work begins, rebuilding herself from the inside out, piece by piece, truth by truth. But once she dares to face what's been hiding beneath the surface, who does she become on the other side of that transformation? There comes a moment when a woman realizes she's not waiting for a man anymore. She's waiting for herself. Not the version she shows the world, but the version buried under years of fear, disappointment, and shrinking herself to survive love. This is the moment she finally chooses to stop chasing acceptance and instead becomes the kind of woman who naturally commands it. She starts honoring her boundaries, not as a performance, but as a lifestyle that silently tells the world what she will and will not allow. And the more she steps into her worth, the more life reorganizes around her. Friends shift, standards rise, and the wrong men disappear like shadows at sunrise. This is when she evolves from hoping for love to magnetizing it, not through effort, but through alignment with the woman she was always meant to be. Because once she meets her true self, what kind of love could ever intimidate her again? The most terrifying truth is also the most liberating. You had the power to change everything all along. Every moment of loneliness, every heartbreak, every missed opportunity was a reflection of choices, habits, and patterns you could have shaped differently. Facing that truth is frightening because it means admitting years of avoidance, but it also means realizing you are never helpless. Change isn't about becoming someone else. It's about becoming the fullest, strongest, most capable version of yourself. When a woman takes ownership of her growth, her energy shifts, her confidence radiates, and suddenly the men worth having appear as if by gravity. The mirror that once reflected failure now reflects possibility, and the woman who feared being alone discovers she was never powerless, only distracted by excuses. So the question is no longer why you're single, but will you finally face the truth and claim the love you've been capable of all along?